so we don't understand what it is very often. It's poorly understood, and we don't teach it. We just promote people without giving them the skills to do the job that they need to do, which is probably the reason. At best, most of us just like our boss, but the question is, would you follow your boss? If they quit, would you follow them wherever they went? Would you give them your blood, sweat, and tears? Would you sacrifice your interests because you want to help the person you work for? It's a high bar, and the number is sadly not enough people feel that way. And when we do, it's remarkably fulfilling, because we're not doing it out of responsibility. We follow our leaders and we give and sacrifice for our leaders, not out of some responsibility because we're forced to, it's because we want to. I'll give you a real life story that really captures this. I visited Marine Base Quantico in Quantico, Virginia, where the Marines have OCS, which is Officer Candidate School, which is where they select their officers. And I was supposed to be given a presentation by the colonel in charge of OCS about what they do at OCS and how it works. And he showed up late for a meeting. Now, if you know anything about Marines do not show up late to meetings. And he walked in and apologized. He said, "I'm terribly sorry, we've had an incident." And I said, "What happened?" He says, "Well, it's pretty bad, you know." He said, "It's bad enough that we're considering throwing one of our Marines out of the Marine Corps." I was like, whoa, like career ending. Like, what happened, you know?
Yeah.
And he said, he fell asleep on watch. And I was like, that's it?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to end someone's career because they fell asleep on watch in the woods of Virginia, right? And he said, "No, you don't understand." When we asked him about it, he denied it. When we asked him about it again, he denied it again. And only when we gave him irrefutable proof did he say, "I'd like to take responsibility for my actions." The problem we have is you don't take responsibility for your actions at the time you get caught. You take responsibility for your actions at the time you perform your actions. He says, "We have another Marine that fell asleep on watch. He owned up to it immediately. We punished him. We have no problem with him. He's fine." But this kid, you have to understand, I cannot put him in a leadership position, because if his Marines for 1 minute think that he would lie to protect himself, or that he would put himself before his Marines, trust will break and people will die. And so you start to understand that all these concepts that we have about what leaders are supposed to get and what leaders are supposed to give are completely backwards. For example, you know, somebody gets a leadership position and they say to their people, "Prove to me why I should trust you." Wrong. Leaders have to just give trust no matter what. It's the people in the team that you have to earn their trust. It's the opposite. Go back to those Marines. That Marine in charge, that young lieutenant, he trusts his Marines out of the gate. That's the rule. But those Marines, that leader has to earn their trust. And that's when they'll follow, and that's when they'll sacrifice. Only when that leader has proved themselves worthy of trust, worthy that they would sacrifice their interests for the good of their Marines. Which is where the title Leaders Eat Last came from. It actually came from a discussion with a Marine when I said, what makes the Marine